Hello students, I hope you all are well. In this session, we are going to understand the third poem or main course book, Hornbill. The title of the poem is The Voice of the Rain, and the poet is Walt Whitman, one of the most versatile American poets. The process of understanding will be an ideal reading of the poem first, then line by line paraphrasing, and finally we shall be taking care of our textual question and answer, focusing mainly on our CBSE board examination, particularly nowadays in MCQ form. So let's start with the ideal reading of the poem. I will read. "And who art thou? Said I to the soft falling shower, which strange to tell gave me an answer, as here translated. I am the poem of the earth, said the voice of the rain. Eternal I rise, impalpable, out of the land and the bottomless sea. Upward to heaven, whence vaguely formed, altogether changed, and yet the same. I descend to lave the droughts, atomies, dust layers of the globe, and all that in them without me were seeds only, latent, unborn. And forever, by day and night, I give back life to my own origin, and make pure and beautify them. For song, issuing from its birthplace, after fulfillment, wandering, wrecked or unwrecked, daily with love returns." So students, this is our one ideal reading of the poem. Now let us understand this poem line by line. Here we have two voices in this poem. One, that of the poet Walt Whitman, and the other of the rain. Are you getting it? I hope you understand it well. Fine. "And who art thou? Said I," who is I here? The poet. The poet asked the soft falling shower, means rain, "Who are you?" Thou, archaic English, meaning you. Who are you? When asked by the poet says here, it is strange to tell here that the way the rain answered the question is really wonderful. In this poem, the poet asks the soft falling raindrops that who she is. It is strange that the rain answers, calling itself the poem of the earth. The rain says that she cannot be touched and rises up in the form of vapor out of the land, and deep she and floats up to heaven, where it changes to surface of the earth to refresh the drought-filled land. The seeds which were dormant under the soil grow with the help of this rain. The earth becomes vital and beautiful because it always gives new life to the earth when it returns to its origin, Mother Earth. It makes the earth clean and green. The poet says that the rain returns, making complete its cycle. It does not care whether anybody pays heed or not. Rain continuously does her own work. So this is what was the reply given by the rain when asked by the poet, "Who art thou?" I am the poem of the earth. Here you can see the rain has been personified. So personification is the poetic device here. You can understand this. The new words students here you can find in the poem are thou means you, soft falling means dropping gently, shower means raindrops, eternal means everlasting, impalpable, unable to be felt by touching, bottomless means very deep, upward instant towards a higher level. Now I hope you had an idea of this poem. Let us come to the textual question and answer. Here the first question is, there are two voices in the poem. Who do they belong to? Which lines indicate this? Very simple for you to answer. Two voices are that of the poet and the rain. What does the phrase "strands to tell" mean? So the answer of this question will be, "strands to tell" means that it is quite a strength for the poet to believe and express in words that the soft falling rain replied to his question, "Who art thou?" Now the third question, there is a parallel drawn between the rain and music. Which words indicate that? Explain the similarity between the two. "I am the poem of earth," said the voice of the rain, reflects a connection between rain and poet. The connection becomes more easily visible in the final line, two lines. "For song issuing from its birthplace after fulfillment, wandering wrecked or unwrecked." So you can see the connection between the poem and the music. The fourth question, the most important one here is, how is the cyclic movement of rain brought out in the poem? Compare it with what you have learned in science. In science, we learn the cyclic process of rain each in terms like evaporation, condensation, precipitation, flowing rivers, groundwater and ocean water etc. While in the poem the same process becomes interesting and unusual. The rain speaks itself to describe its course. Fifth question, why are the last two lines put within brackets? The answer for this question, students, will be, the lines in the brackets indicate the reflections, observations and thoughts of the poet. He makes observations about the life course of a song and draws similarity between the life cycle of a song and rain. And the last question, the most, you can say, comprehensible and the easiest one is, list the pair of opposites found in the poem. You can easily do it: day, night, wrecked, unwrecked, rise and descend. This is how, as students, I hope you understood this poem up to some extent. Now, as a homework, you can read this poem at your home 2 times, and with the help of your own resources, your own help books, you can answer all the 6 textual questions, write it and share it in the Google Classroom. I hope this video lesson is worth for all my students of class 11th, and if you find so, just you may like it, subscribe